I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh and Angel Ortega. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, my friend and yours, Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Not really a lot of, not really a lot of fights to preview or recap. Obviously, we had no UFC card last week, no real major box, no real major PFL, no real major anything happening. The Oklahoma City Thunder up 3-1. We got game 5 tonight. Looking to close it out in Oklahoma City. Yes, that's right. I know this is a combat sports show, but I show love. I show love to the other sports.
We used to talk about at one point in time. This podcast did center majorly around basketball,
That's
boxing, and MMA, which it sadly
it
died off. We were a variety podcast.
We were a variety podcast, but I think like we had kind of like closed in on like one particular sport.
Well, it was always going to end up being MMA, but boxing and all. Like at one point, it was everything and anything at almost at one point.
That's true. And sometimes I miss it, but then it's like the NBA kind of just personally fell off for me for a bit. Like
it wasn't that fun for a while.
OKC wasn't as good either. Like we had a few tanking years, but
not even just that. But the game is just not as enjoyable to watch for me personally anymore.
For a lot of people, and it doesn't help like the superstars have all kind of like faded off, like the LeBrons, the Stephs, the fucking.
And there's a new era, and it's cool and all.
And you know what? You know whose fault it is? It's Zion Williamson's fault. This is such a weird tangent to go off.
You think if Zion would have been canceled, they would have been like, "Fuck yeah, dude, Zion's the shit."
The American public wanted Zion to be good so bad that we're on year 7 and we're still like, God, dude, if he loses weight, literally though, because like the guy's a 2-time All-Star. He's gotten New Orleans a playoff like twice, but he's gotten hurt like both times.
And when he gets going, dude, he's pretty fun to watch.
When he gets going, he's the most fun player in the league. Like he does like a fucking some of the shit he does being like 300 pounds, like it shouldn't be possible. But then that's why he gets hurt fucking 40 games.
Also, we're not going to talk about the fact of like the Mavericks getting a 1% chance to get the first. We didn't
talk about that at all. And like
they got the first overall pick. Dude.
You guys have heard me on the show. I'm the opposite of like sports are rigged guy, but like.
Dude, people were talking about this is up there with like when the Cavs got the number 1 overall pick after LeBron left and they got Kyrie, I think, that year.
Look, there are some examples of
or maybe it was Kwame Brown. I can't remember who they got.
Yeah, there's some justifications being used, like not justifications, but like other examples being used, like fucking who had this happen? Like the Spurs, like they got Victor Wembanyama, like that shouldn't have happened, or yada yada yada. And it's like, well, some of these aren't good examples, but like,
dude, it's in the
LeBron
top 5.
LeBron to Cleveland, D Rose to Chicago, like, and then this happening. There are some that just line up too crazy for it to like. I mean, come on, dude.
Top 5 and lowest probability,
and they got him too. Like
they got Cooper fucking Flag,
and now they get to have AD, Kyrie, and Cooper Flag.
Great.
Maybe. I think somebody has an opt out. I think it's AD,
people still shit on. Oh, it doesn't matter, dude. Clay's washed, Kyrie's injured, AD can't fucking stay healthy. But dude, still though, like you never know what they could produce. You never know what guys could do, and then they always have like the trade possibilities there. Like there's still vets, there's still guys who know what they need, and if they stay healthy for like a season and are able to produce something, you never know.
Well, I think the NBA too is kind of like. It's a sport above all else. Obviously, soccer, I think, plays a big... I don't know enough about it to say, but, like, the NBA, if one dude goes down, that changes everything. Mm-hmm. Like, especially if that guy's, like, the shit, So, whenever you have a situation like that, like, I would never bet on... I don't think I'd bet on an AD, Cooper Flag, Klay Thompson, Kyrie team.
Sure, it doesn't sound bad on paper.
But there's so many injuries and egos involved that like one dude going down can change that whole shit.
You remember when Brooklyn constructed the greatest team on paper?
Dude, oh my God. And you know what? That's so weird to me to bring that up because I literally went down the rabbit hole last night and watched like highlights of the Celtics. Like they swept the Celtics except for like they almost swept them. It was a gentleman's sweep. Jason Tatum had to put up fucking 50 points in the Garden to win one game against the Kyrie, Kevin Durant, James Harden, fucking
Blake Griffin,
dude,
Andre Drummond,
and
then whoever the fucking NBA generics were on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Like they had people don't realize, and then they ended up with like Harden and Kyrie. I think they lost Kyrie in the series with the Bucks, and then James Harden missed a couple games and he was playing hurt in Game 7, and they were like that close to beating the Bucks, who then went on to win the chip. Like that's like And then James Harden, dumbass, requested a trade the next year. They're probably going to run it back and maybe had a chance at the title. But, God, dude, crazy. I was thinking about that literally last night.
Kyrie,
like, God, dude,
I don't know
that team's already forgotten.
Did he go instantly to Brooklyn, or did he go straight to Dallas after that? I thought there was a team in between.
He went to Dallas, from what I remember correctly.
Right after Brooklyn?
Yes, because God, dude, he's had so many teams.
KD went to the Suns.
So we had the Cavs, we had Celtics a year in Boston, or like 2 years.
Because Harden was at the Sixers, then he ended up on the Clippers, and then I don't even know. There's a lot of movement there.
A lot of movement there, but I hope that's something that ends. It's like
Do you remember the Kyrie Celtics era?
Dude,
That was something that happened,
dude. And you know what's crazy to me too is like he really was like, you know what, fuck having a chance at a ring. I want to be my own man. And it's like, well, all right, we saw what happened whenever you were the number one option. Like, you got hurt, and whenever you were healthy, you weren't that good either. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm a Kyrie fan. I think like he might be like talent-wise like the greatest. If he could have his head on straight, he might have been the greatest point guard of like the 2010s, like of this era.
Definitely one of the funnest to watch, dude.
When he's healthy, and when he's not acting crazy, he could have been that guy. Like, dude, he won one chip. Made it to 5 finals actually. The Mavs
look pretty damn good in all of those too.
And now it's like, dude, like then it goes all sent around to the Mavericks. Like, how the fuck could you trade Luka Doncic just a year after making the finals? Like, I understand like they lost in 6, but like,
dude, but they got Cooper Flag.
They could have had a few more pieces.
What if they don't draft Cooper Flag? That'd be the funnier thing.
What if Cooper Flag's like, I don't want to play for Dallas?
What if he just gets out of the draft?
He's like, actually, I would rather go play for the big 3 for a year, and then I'm just gonna enter in through free agency. You know, like pull some bullshit.
Well, I mean, I don't think he would even have to do that because he already completed college, so he could just sign as a free agent if he wanted to.
You know what? You're right.
In theory,
yeah, in theory.
Could you imagine? Dude, I wonder if that'll ever happen. We'll ever have a power move where a guy's like, you know something? I don't like who can draft me. You know, I'm gonna pull out of the draft. So I'm gonna sign as a free agent.
So there's been some crazy shit that's happened. Like back in the day, I think there was a couple high-profile players who went to whenever the NFL was big, but there was the USFL for like 4 seasons, and that was like it was like the closest anybody came to challenging the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think current and former President Donald Trump actually owned one of the teams in this league back in the 80s. And there was a couple of big players at the time who were like, you know what, fuck the NFL, I'm going to the USFL. And then league folded, they ended up going to the NFL anyway. So, but dude, a different short quarterback, Chicago, can't think of his name, Caleb Williams, or whatever. Yeah, he apparently was in talks. His dad was angling like because he didn't want to go to Chicago, which makes sense. Like Chicago, historically, not a bad NFL franchise, but historically they're the worst franchise of all time for quarterbacks. They've not had a 4,000-yard passer yet, which is everybody. And they've had some great quarterbacks. Jay Cutler was pretty solid in his prime. Like they've had some other dudes, but nobody's hit 4K yards. And I don't think haven't had like a Pro Bowl quarterback in like I don't even know if they've ever had one.
But they're actually having success now, though, right?
Yeah, I mean they're better. Point being, last year before he got drafted, like there were rumors like Caleb Williams just didn't want to go to Chicago, and it came out in a book recently that like him and his family were looking at like potentially joining the Rocks League, the UFL for like a year, and then going to the NFL through like some free agency bullshit after playing for 1 year for them, just foregoing the draft because he didn't want to go to Chicago. So we got close to that happening.
I'm curious, dude, how like the sports world is going to change here in the States, like especially because of like NIL, NIL money.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's something I'm not educated enough on, but I saw that they're trying to like.
I think it's good for the people who have sports that like. The next thing is like the Olympics, and after that, it's it. You know what I mean?
I think it's insane that like you've had like for example, think about the University of Florida. I know you're not a huge football fan, but in like 2008, Tim Tebow was like the biggest name in America, like basically, like, and that guy.
But it could also be bad.
Didn't earn a cent off his college career, and that's crazy to me.
You also got to think about it though. Like, what are going to be the negatives later on? Like, what are going to be the repercussions of like these guys making like insane money while in college?
I don't know, but I think. I don't really care because I think like these.
they've earned.
I'm
not saying they don't deserve it, but I'm just curious to see like what
these motherfuckers, these kids who are working hard.
What's going to be the fallout though one day? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean I don't know, but I see that's why because you know these are the biggest problems in America right now. So like congressional like figures are like trying to like figure out something. They're trying to get involved with college sports and like the amount of money they can make, and it's like. I mean, they're thinking about the consequences. They're thinking about other stuff. You know?
I mean, I think they should make any money. I mean, if anything, maybe they need just guidance. You know, make a fund. You know how they do. I don't know.
I don't know what the answer is, but I do think like It's crazy to me it took them this long to get paid, honestly. Like,
Hey, but they're getting paid.
they're getting paid. They're getting paid. Finally, I got my NCAA college football game back in my life. You know, it was a long 10 years, but we made it, you know. I think it was long.
Dude, in recent time, though, who do you think would have made like some insane NIL money? Dude?
Johnny Manziel would have been a billionaire. Johnny Manziel would have made $1 billion. Like, dude, I was literally looking on like just this past week. I was looking on like Amazon, just looking at random shit, you know. And I found some like shirt store that has been updated since like 2016.
Mhm.
And had like Johnny Manziel shirts. And I was like, God, dude, like, could you imagine if he's gonna cut? Because back in the day, like, again, there's another thing. Like, you weren't a huge football fan. He was like the number one name in America. Like, and I don't even blame him, dude. He was doing like Madden shit, like on like a day, like a day-to-day basis. Like Mahomes, like I love Mahomes. You know how like every game for like his first rookie year, like because nobody had seen anything like him, he was doing just the most absurd plays.
Dude, what do you mean? Like 2 seasons ago, dude? Like,
well, he still busted out, but like he slowly stopped doing it over time. He's kind of become more like a pocket passer, kind of more standard. You know what I mean? Not really pocket passer,
dude, but
like,
there's sometimes you just pull shit out of his ass.
Exactly. But Johnny Manziel was doing that like every play. Like he'd you know, his offensive line was terrible, so dudes would instantly bust through. He's like 5'9". He'd run around the field, circle the field, throw up a Hail Mary to Mike Evans, who would catch it for a touchdown. Like, it was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And then I watched him play like a bowl game against Oklahoma, and I remember thinking like, all right, Oklahoma, we're a really good team this year. Like, we won 10 games, won the Big 12.
The
Sooners got Landry Jones, future NFL quarterback in there. You know, a couple good names.
I haven't heard it ever.
Yeah,
was he good?
Yeah, he was back mostly for Pittsburgh. But he was fine. He had a decent like 7-8 year career. You know, but we had a couple other bangers in there. Sterling Shepard, great wide receiver. We lost by like 40 points. Like, it wasn't close for a minute against Johnny Manziel. The motherfucker just did whatever he wanted. That guy would have made $1 billion. So there you go.
Damn.
Yeah. Just did a whole fucking, and you know what's funny is I hated the guy at the time too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Did you actually
He
like
was
legitimately
such a
have
dick.
some anger?
Oh, dude, he was such a dick. He was such a dick. I remember that's the problem too. Is like he was such a dick, but it's like, oh fuck, like you're so good. Like I can't even be like, you don't deserve to be a dick, because he was like, I remember like he got suspended for doing some shit. Like he was like, he likes to autograph some footballs for money, and he got suspended for like half a game.
George was like, fuck
And
yeah.
they were playing Rice. I remember they were playing Rice University, and I think Rice was leading at halftime.
Fucking hilarious. We talked about Rice University
I
earlier.
know, we were just bringing it up. So I'm 99% sure they were playing Rice or another small school. Rice somehow like winning at halftime, where they're only down by like a touchdown. It's like a really close game. Johnny Manziel comes in after being suspended for fucking autographing footballs or whatever, and then just like starts lighting him up, starts taunting him, talking shit. And it's like, dude, like these guys, like they're from Rice, dude. Like, yeah, like. And the craziest part too is I couldn't be like, oh
man, I need to go see like a Johnny Manziel edit later,
dude. I'm not even joking. The guy was cracked out. He was partying with like LeBron before games, like because they were in Cleveland for like 3 years together,
smoking weed.
Yeah, dude. And it was crazy too. Is
in Florida, dude.
In the NFL too, like he did the same shit. Like he didn't practice, he didn't look up game film, he didn't do any of that.
He just
like,
show up.
I still think he finished with more touchdowns and interceptions in his career. Like even though he was a huge bust, he didn't win any games. Like statistically, I watched him play. He wasn't bad. He just was like really rough and unpolished and like getting hammered every week. Like
maybe a little bit more focused. Maybe could have had like a sustainable career.
Probably. I mean, like the raw talent was so insane that him just like dude, he was so hammered. Like I think he got released from the Browns in his final year. Because like he just skipped a game. Like he just like skipped. Like he said like he had some medical thing going on. Maybe
he just didn't show up.
It was the end of the season, so like, oh fuck, you can have the day off, Johnny. You're on IR anyways or something. And then, like, it came out, like, he was partying and, you know, just doing shots and the whole 9 yards. Like, they called him Money Manziel. And, like...
that guy's life is a fucking movie, dude.
Dude, oh, my God. The Johnny Manziel movie. I feel that... Have they done, like, a doc... Somebody done a...
There has to be some sort of media out there.
Yeah, like a 30 for 30 or something, man. Because... what's that one... dude, the guy's 31. He could be playing right now. Untold did one about him. Johnny Football. Yeah, the man, Money Manziel and Johnny Football. Imagine being so fucking good they call you Johnny Football. Like, that's your nickname. Like, that's how everybody in America knows you, you know?
Damn.
God damn, dude. Shout out Johnny Manziel, dude. So, we're going to move on because we have some fights to discuss. 15 minutes into our combat sports show. Do you got anything else you want to talk about?
Is that better than MK? You know, like, I'd say that's decent.
Well, I mean, they mostly just talk about cock and balls for, like, 10, 15 minutes.
Right,
just
you know,
dicks.
Fighters OS, you know,
Fighters OS. I mean, we do
relationship
that
status
sometimes too, but you know,
making
most
fun
of
of Bong Island Luke for 30 minutes.
Bong Island Luke. Shout out Bong. We should get Bong Island Luke on the. I bet we could probably get Bong Island Luke on the show. How many subscribers does his show have? Do we know?
I don't know. What is it
Yeah.
called? The minute.
Oh my god, I feel so bad. I can't remember.
God.
Something minute. if you listen to the show, you almost definitely know Mortal Kombat anyway. So like, I feel fine like taking a minute to shout out Bong Island Luke and discuss this.
Did you figure it out, sir?
No, I figured they would have it linked beneath, but they do not.
Villains, dude.
Wow, they said fuck Bong Island Luke, huh? Well, I mean, if you know Morning Kombat, you probably know him. So, yeah.
It almost bothers me that I can't.
That's the reason why I'm still looking it up, because now I have to know it. Because if not, I'm gonna be pissed off. And you know, we'll just cut this out of the. We'll cut that. You know, it'll be.
Yeah, Josh is like, we'll take care of it in post, right? Yeah.
Well, we'll edit that out in post. We'll have our editor get on it. We have one of those.
I don't even know if I can find it. Luke Nocita.
Luke Nocita.
A main card minute. That's what it's called.
Main Card Minutes. Host of the Main Card Minute podcast. Shout out Bong Island Luke.
I just pulled that out of my ass, dude.
We have about.
They got 2K. We can, dude. We're right there with them.
That's actually funny. For some reason, I assumed they had more. Yeah, at this point, I mean, that makes sense for a collaboration.
They're almost at
For a
3K.
collab. Yeah. Shout out Bong Island Luke. Shout out MK. They've been doing some good stuff over there. You know, they've been stuck in 176,000 subscribers for like 6 months. So I hope they can.
Who can you blame for that, dude?
I don't even know. It's tough out here. Anyways, UFC Vegas 107 going down from UFC Apex, Las Vegas, Nevada. I gotta be honest with you, I don't like this card, but I love this main event, and I kind of wish they have a crowd for this one, but I get why they don't.
What's nice in here is very scattered, and then there's a whole lot of nothing after that.
But there are nice things here.
No. That's what I'm saying. There's some stuff to look forward to. I think that main event and that co-main event is good.
And that main event.
Yeah.
Erin Blanchfield, cold-blooded Blanchfield, now 26 years young, turned 26 2 weeks ago. Now in her, I believe, third UFC main event. Yes, third UFC main event. Take on Maycee, the future Barber, 27 years young herself. She was angling to be the youngest UFC champion, and she kind of fell back. She had a couple losses. She lost to Roxanne Modafferi, friend of the show. She ended up losing to ELYXR, future champion. After that, she's been flawless. Granted, she had the worst decision of all time, but she beat Miranda Maverick. All that matters is a W. Was it 16 out of 16 MMA decisions? Yes, it was. But, you know, still she got the split decision win. Since then, beat Montella De La Rosa, beat Jessica Eye, split decision win over KGB Lee, defeated Ahmed Hebos in a just absolute banger, an absolute war in Jacksonville in 2023, and then beat Caitlin, formerly Shukage, now Saramina, by unanimous decision at UC 299. Yes, nice.
Is Caitlin still on the roster?
It's Caitlin, huh?
Is Caitlin still on a roster?
I believe so.
I know she had a kid and all, so that's what I was asking.
Yeah, I think she's just taking time off. I think that's it. She's still on the roster. Only 36. Shocking, because I feel like she's been around for like 18 years. But nonetheless, man, I like this main event a lot, and I think that
they're gonna sell.
They're gonna sell. These ladies have been talking shit for a while too, because they've been on the rise, kind of like adjacent to one another. Those two, and then I say probably I brought up earlier, Miranda Maverick's probably been like the three highest prospects in the division for a minute now, as far as like American prospects go. So they've been on a collision course for a minute. What do you make of this fight, man? Current line minus 250 for Erin Blanchfield, plus 200 for Maycee Barber.
I'd say that's about right. She's been out for over a year now. Yeah. Blanchfield faced 100% to better competition, pretty much risen to it every time outside of the man in furrow. Kind of like, I don't say she laid an egg, but it was just like, dang, that's what we got. Yeah. You know, a little unfortunate there. But I mean, it's crazy, dude. Height, like I think even like build and height wise, they're relatively similar. Obviously, close in age too, 1 year apart. Similar records for that too. Like it's pretty wild how like there's a lot there. There's a lot of parallels there. For the fight itself, I mean, I think Blanchfield has it. One thing I gotta give to both of them though, I think they both go for it.
Oh,
I mentioned this a while back. I think the reason that Blanchfield's had a lot of success in the UFC, she does this thing that I feel like a lot of other women don't do, where they're incredibly technical, they're incredibly great, but they don't have that edge where they go for it. They're trying to get you out. They want to get that finish. You know, there's very few gals that do that, and if they do, maybe that's the only way they can win. But then on the other end, on the technical end, they also have some weaknesses, so that's why they have to fight that way. Or I think you get the benefit of Blanchfield where she's technically sound, but also wants that finish, wants to finish the fight. You know, has that willingness to go for it. You know, which I feel like you don't get a lot of that with a lot of the ladies in the UFC. And I think Maycee has that to an extent as well. She goes for it definitely, and she's very confident. You know, she's changed her camp sub. She's done things that have definitely she's done shit to get better, which you have to respect. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'll be surprised if Maycee does come out here and winning just because Blanchfield's looks so good. She's been kind of like the prospect, kind of the one we've been looking at. And so, yeah, for me, this one's pretty easy. I think it's going to be Erin Blanchfield. I'm not sure if it'll be a finish. I think we're kind of going to go with the all-known well stat of most women fights go to a decision here. So I think I'm going to go Blanchfield here. I'll even call it, maybe even get a decision.
Yeah, man, I am very much in line with you. Personally, I think and we bring up them a lot, but our friends at the show, BetMGM, if you follow that link down below, you can get up to $1,500 bonus paid back if you don't hit. Contact 1-800-GAMBLER if you're having any issues. I definitely planning on throwing some money on Erin Blanchfield this weekend. I think grappling wise, Maycee Barber, we haven't seen her in a minute actually have to grapple, which kind of makes me a little bit more hesitant. Granted, only one fight in the last 2 years. Last time I actually got to see her in the mat, I believe it was the Amanda Hebos fight, but I can't remember everything fully about that fight. Granted, she's been taken down in control before. Modafferi did it, obviously. Random Maverick in that fight had a lot of success.
Grasso did it too, right?
I believe so for a little bit. So yeah, and Erin Blanchfield might be the best grappler in the division. She might. I mean, if she's not the best, she's top 3. The way she's kind of run through a lot of gals, the only one to really have any sort of be able to hold her is Mana Farrow, and Mana Farrow just had a fight for the title, nearly won it. I mean, she's up there as far as best grapplers in the division, especially taking out defense-wise. She just beat Rose in a 5-round fight, too, where she kind of, you know, she showed her skill, man. Like, that fight was not the most exciting thing in the world, Blanchfield against Rose, but she showed her levels, especially kind of early on. She was kind of getting pieced up, had to go back to the grappling, had to go to the clinch. So I got to go Erin Blanchfield. I think 5 rounds gives Maycee Barber some room to work. I think she does hit very, very hard. She might be the hardest puncher in this division as far as 125 goes. She ices some of these girls. She's done it. She did a lot earlier in her career. She kind of like manages better, but even then, Hebos made her look like a horror victim. So I'm not going to rule out Maycee Barber, but I'm going to take Erin Blanchfield for the win, probably by decision or maybe a late sub.
Late sub. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I wonder what the prop is on that. I'm curious. That'd be fun to do later.
We'd have to look that up later. But yeah. Yeah, man. Co-main event is solid as well. Honestly, it's not the greatest thing, but I dig it. Mateusz Gamrot, who 24-3 now, coming off that loss to Dan Hooker in absolute war last August, down under in Perth, Australia. Part of that, he won 3 in a row. RDA, the 2 Rafaels in lightweight, Fiziev and Dos Anjos, and he also beat Jalen Turner by split decision. Now 34, trying to make one final push for the title, taking on Ludwig Klein, 30 years old. Came in the UFC, I think, with honestly a lot of hype. Lost 2 in a row, but since then, he's rebounded, man. We're talking I believe, 7-fight unbeaten streak. He had a draw in there, Jai Herbert. But last week, Roosevelt Roberts in September, who returned to the UFC. What do you make of this fight, man?
I like it. I think it's fun. We get to see a new guy get a shot at, obviously, getting a ranking spot here in Ludwig Klein, who very steadily, somewhat quietly, at times forgotten, has managed to put himself in this position. Entertaining too, fun striker. Has had some lows, has definitely had his own struggles. But fuck, he's in this position now. This is very traditional here. Grappler versus striker. We know Gamrot likes taking this fight to the ground. We know Ludwig's game is on the feet. Kind of depending what you think is going to win here. I'm going to go wrestling. I'm going to go Gamrot.
I'm very much in line with you.
Especially 3 rounds. Yeah, control him for 2 rounds, take him down. Even if I think if Klein has success, we know how this could go. The fight could get swayed the other way. And also, Gamrot's been a split decision merchant at times too.
He has been. He's had a lot of splits, a lot of close fights, and I expect this one to be the same. I mean, yeah. Gun to my head, I'm gonna pick Gamrot. I do think this one can get a bit dicey at times. Ludwig Klein hits hard. He's a very tricky guy.
Good kicks.
I don't know, man. I just think we've seen Gamrot at a higher level. Now, I will say the age is a little bit of a concern.
34 though.
34, but I also thought that Dan Hooker fight, I thought he could have a way easier time than he ended up having. But
you could say that for other Gamrot fights too, though.
That's the issue. Is I feel like he fights his levels of competition, so I think he's probably going to win here. But definitely could see an upset potential here for Luvat Klein, who's just, like you said earlier, steadily rising in this 155-pound division. So, yeah, but got him ahead picking Gamrot. I like the fight, though. Should be fun. I like it in the co-main. We feel like we've had a lot of weird co-mains on these UC Apex cards.
He's one of the better ones.
Definitely one of the better ones. I mean, a guy that's ranked. What is Gamrot, top 10? I believe he's still top 10. Yeah, number 7 against a guy that's, I think unranked, but should be ranked in my opinion. 7-5 unbeaten streak. Some of those good names. Thiago Moises in there as well. So, yeah, like the fight. Nonetheless, the rest of the card gets dicey. It gets a little bit dicey, to be honest with you. There are some good fights in here, and then a lot of meh, to be quite honest with you. Moving one down, I like Dustin Jacoby, Bruno Lopez. Dustin Jacoby at one point was kind of looking like, okay, all right, you're kind of looking like you might be a contender or some shit, man. Had like the most like overlooked winning streak in the sport. He suffered a lot lately. Lost 2 of his last 3. So we'll see what he can do here. It's the young Bruno Lopez, who's 14-1. It kind of seems like they're kind of setting him up here, but I don't know, man. Dustin Jacoby, you can't really count that guy out.
No.
So we'll see what happens. Ramiz Ramaj taking on Billy Goff. I like that. Billy Ray Goff, excuse me, according to the wiki. But thought he was won by Billy Goff, but I guess not. Zach Reese taking on Dusko Todorovic.
Banger.
Love that fight.
Is that the Doc Thunder? No. I got it confused.
Yeah. It should be a fun fight, though. 2 guys are generally action, I'd say.
Yeah. That's like a finish fight, right? Like
yeah. I mean,
that's not going to
shocked.
distance, right?
I mean, I believe Dusko hasn't had a fight go to the decision in like 4 or 5 years. It's been a long time. And Zach Reese has pretty much been.
Maybe that's a fun one right there. Fight will not go to the distance.
Yeah. And then Zach Reese, I mean, of his UFC career, only 1 gone the distance. So should be a fun one to open up the card. Down at flyweight, man. Jafil Filo taking on Alan Nascimento. I like that. And 125 for men's flyweight. We love the flyweights here. Caitlin Vieira, Maycee Barber.
By the way, I think this is a sleeper fight.
I actually agree with you.
I think it's a sleeper fight. I think if they both show up, goddamn, could this be a banger?
Caitlin Vieira is not like the most fun gal in the division, but she is tricky for every single fighter. Like straight up. I'm damn near every single fighter. I mean, granted, Nunes ran through, but like everybody else, really. I mean, she's just a very tricky fighter. Good on the feet. Decent boxing, slick boxing. Very, very underrated. She kind of slows the fight down to her
strong
pace.
too.
Very, very strong, hard to take down. Maycee Barber, and for her credit, I've always said has been one of the most entertaining women in the UFC. I mean, you look at her career, she is willing to go blood and guts with you. The Mayra Bueno Silva fight was a banger, even though what got stopped early, that was a banger. The Piana Gonzalez fight, she ended up winning that one by first round stuff. The Irene Aldana fight was a banger, ended up getting stopped with that really weird kick to the body, that up kick.
Yeah.
That was a really fun fight too. So she's put on a lot of fun fights. So I'm happy you're in agreement with me on that one. Move down, Trevin Giles still kicking around here, taking on Andreas Gustus.
By the way, this guy's been trying to make his debut since January.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is a different opponent. This was not his originally scheduled opponent, I believe, either.
Yeah.
He was supposed to fight Jeremiah Wells originally in this.
Before that, Preston Parsons.
They're fighting at catch weight of 180. Dude, 5 months of trying to make his debut in the UFC.
And Trevin Giles, he needs a win. But I'll tell you, man, I feel like there's been a few times now where it's like, okay, Trevin Giles, he's kind of just a meh guy. We'll see him, end up losing, get cut here, and then he rebounds, dude. Like he just rebounds. He finds a way to stay alive in this UFC, middleweight division. So I guess welterweight, excuse me. But yeah, man, we'll see how he does here. He's lost 3 in a row. It feels like they're setting him up against our boy Bane, which, by the way, badass nickname. And Andreas Gustus is quite frankly a scary looking man. So very fitting.
That's one big dude.
So we'll see what happens down at 180 there. Kurt Holloway taking on Jordan Levitt at lightweight.
It's a fun fight.
Love it. We're still Monkey King fans here. A great top 15 gatekeeper. Honestly, like very much a good litmus test for anybody. He's lost 2 of his last 3, but the loss is coming to obviously Chase Hooper and Pat Pimblett, who are both just on tears right now. So no shame in that. And then Kurt Holloway, 38 years old, still doing the damn thing. Yeah, still putting on fun fights. You have Rayan dos Santos versus Alice Ardeline opening up the card as well. I have nothing to say about that one, but I'm just going to be honest. I remember Alice getting signed last year and thinking like, all right, that's not a great signing. And she's 0-2 already. So, Ryan Dos Santos, also 0-2.
Lost to Pooja Tumor.
But a former Invicta champion, and Pooja Tumor, actually, I mean, she's not bad, And then the two losses, both splits, Pooja Tumor and Talita Alanisikar, who's that girl who mauled Vanessa Diamopoulos recently. So no shame in losing, though, either of those. So we'll see. Anything else we want to talk about before we're going to close out of that one, man?
No, it's a decent. There's good pockets. There's decent stuff. There's storylines you kind of want to watch. I'm investing in some of the fights on this card.
I feel the same way. It's of the Apex cards. This one's going to be one right in the middle.
Well, this is outside of the Apex, isn't it?
No, I thought it was UFC Vegas 106.
Oh,
is
yeah.
it another Vegas venue?
Oh, I guess no. You're right. It is Nevada. This is the Apex. I thought it wasn't for some reason.
Yeah. This is breaking news, Angel. All previous UC bouts have been scrubbed from ESPN Plus. The whole catalog is gone.
Wait,
UC Fight Pass is the only official source of past UC fights now.
Yo.
I'm not going to be sad about the UC ESPN era being done, but that came out of nowhere. I mean, we knew that they're in contract talks with other people.
Also, it was a shit show to try to get to fights on.
It's been bad for a long time.
Yeah,
they make DAZN look like Netflix. I mean, in DAZN. I mean, if you've used DAZN lately, I mean, you know. So, anyways, man, we'll stay in the UC. We'll stay in the UC ballpark for a minute because we got a few things to talk about there. Man, we finally have some not some finality, but I feel like we know. Okay, it's not been officially announced, but we know. Noche UFC set for September, going head to head with Canelo Alvarez, Bud Crawford. I mean, why would you do that? But
not a good choice in my opinion.
No, I feel like you could have done something else. But look, nonetheless, supposed to go down in Mexico. Apparently not happening in Mexico. That's not official yet, but they've canceled like every event until a week out because construction's still ongoing at that stadium. The UFC, I saw reported last night, they're looking at other options for where they can hold this event. So that sucks. So how do you rebound with losing your big Mexican venue? And you're probably going to put it in Las Vegas again. Okay. What about you rerun a fight from 2 years ago that was not competitive in the slightest? Yes, instead of Alexander Volkanovski, who said publicly, I want to fight Maycee Barber, he will reportedly instead be rematching Yair Rodriguez, who he defeated in July of 2023 by third-round knockout. Angel, give me your thoughts.
Dude, what a fucking mistake this is. And the rumor is, and granted this is all through Twitter and things like that the co-main's going to be Diego Lopez versus who?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if that's actually been...
It's a rumor.
Been discussed at all.
Diego versus oh my goodness, Brazilian, all the hype right now, fighting nerd.
Diego Lopez? No, oh my god.
What the
fuck am I saying? Oh my god. Hold on.
Gene Silva,
thank you. Oh my god.
That was
mixed up my Brazilians. Yeah, so 320, that's the rumor.
Yeah, that
UFC
was
320, Guadalajara, Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Arena Guadalajara. Current plans, Volk Yair, as well as Diego and Jon Silva. And dude, I don't know how you fucked that up. I don't know how you... It's like the biggest layup.
They should have told us, bro. We would have had them.
This is the biggest layup to just do...
Yair versus Diego.
Yair versus Diego and Volk versus
Mozart in the main event.
And then you do Aaron Pico versus Jon Silva. You do that? Would that not be the funniest thing? What are we talking about here? Why are we doing a fight that we just saw that wasn't even competitive? And dude, people would be like, "Oh, it might be the worst title shot of all time." In the without context, Yair, no. I mean, he beat Patricio. He's put on some bangers. He's had some other wins since then. I get it, but we have a guy that's undefeated who's won 8 in a row in the UFC at this point.
He's 18-0.
No, 18-0 overall, but talking about the UFC.
No, but I'm just saying in that record.
Yeah, I mean, it's absurd. That we're sitting here and we're talking about a Yair rematch. It's absurd. And in Yair and Diego, there aren't a lot of real feuds you get in MMA. There's a little thing for the insiders. A lot of the time, they're just trying to promote the fight, guys. They just are. And they might have the rivalry of competitive spirit.
But there was some heat there, bro.
They nearly fought at the press conference when they were fighting other people. That's some real blood. They didn't have to do that. That was some real shit. And instead, we're just... I mean, and then the other part of this is that it's going to be Mozart versus Aaron Pico, which is
cool, but
I don't think that's the fight you should make for Aaron Pico. I think that's the worst possible fight you can make if you just sign that kid and you're trying to push him. Now, granted, if he goes out there and just annihilates Mozart, it's okay, you got the outcome you wanted. You have this ready-made star. You have Mozart out of contention because that's what they want. And you have that. But that's the best case scenario. More than likely, if you're beating Most Otherwise, it's not going to be an easy night at the office. Like, you're going to have to go through
It's a main event
lot.
too, right?
I believe so, yes. So, and the guy, not a guy with a lot of 5-round experience either. It's like, what are they thinking?
What are we doing here?
What are they thinking? I mean, Aaron Pico versus John Silva, it's like the easiest layup I think you can make for
Well, dude, he didn't even have to fight John Silva. Like, Aaron Pico could have fought literally anybody else at 145, and you would have had no issue.
No, but I just think, like, in the ballpark of what they're trying to do, he's ranked 11. And, like, it has all this hype right now. Like, and granted, featherweight's fucked right now. It's a little bit still fucked because you still have Ilya Topuria and Max in the rankings. So John Silva's more, yeah, I know, dude. Oh my God, I'm gonna have a stroke. But John Silva's more like 9, okay? He's more like 9. So
that just triggered me. So
Brian Ortega's still at number 7.
This division needs to get cleared out, bro. We also have no disrespect. I think pretty sure we still have Calvin Kattar and Josh.
Calvin Kattar is number 15,
and we have Josh
Emmett number 10. Denny is 14.
Let these young guys push through, dude. I think, dude, like, oh God,
yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to rant too much about it because, like, the reality is I actually don't hate.
Is Mean Machine at 45?
I thought Mean Machine was at
or is he 55?
Yeah, I thought he used to be 45.
Where's his current win streak at? I was wondering about this now.
Okay,
that dude deserves a fucking ranked opponent, dude.
So he's been bouncing back and forth. He doesn't have one. So he was at lightweight when his winning streak started. He was at featherweight. He knocked out Chase Hooper. He knocked out Charlene Burton BK. He went up to 155. He knocked out Mezcal Costa. He knocked out Choi Sung Woo, and then he went back down and he knocked out Kyle Nelson.
I wonder where he's going to stay at, dude, because he's deserving a ranking spot.
Yeah, I mean, shit, dude, he's got to stop doing that though. He's got to stay in one weight class, man.
No, you're not wrong.
You're not going to get some Jon Jones treatment, man. We gotta hope that you stay in one weight class. But point being,
we also got Chip and Matiscal, dude. Fucking Machine Gun also on a win streak. Dude.
Yeah, there you go, dude.
Let these guys shine through.
Yeah. Point being, let's just not do this. Let's not do this. It's the easy. It's funny too. I remember us talking about this at the time. Like, it's so dumb, but they're probably going to do it. I remember that was literally like our take at the time.
But that was because of a number of reasons. Because things weren't in the right place. There was a perfect scenario where things could work out, but they didn't, and they have now given us the worst version of what they had to work with.
And here's the part that drives me the most is like if you're doing Noche UC and you're wanting to go to Mexico, you need a Mexican guy in the main event. You need one. The last 2 years have been in Vegas, and one of them was Sean O'Malley versus Marab. And it's like, okay, that's a fine main event if it's not going to be in Mexico. You're saying Noche UC, you're going to put a lot of Mexican people on your card.
And they did it on Vegas. You know, they still did a nice presentation. They still had a lot of people there.
But because you're not in Mexico, I get the reason we're like, we don't need a Mexican person at the top of the card. You're not doing it in Mexico anymore. You're doing it in Vegas. Why do you have to push Yair to the top of the card when you don't need that? You could have him in the co-main event with Diego Lopez in a 5-round fight. Winner gets a title shot there.
Dude, if I'm Volk, I pretend I'm getting injured, dude. Like,
oh my God.
They probably put an interim knowing these fucks.
They would put an interim, and then they would say,
like, oh my God, guys, Diego versus
Diego. Yeah, they'd say fuck Mozart, dude. They'd still say fuck Mozart.
They'd be like, Diego versus Yair, dude, in the interim. Oh my God, like in Mexico.
It is stunning, the decision making at times of this company. It's like they make money in spite of themselves. Literally, it is the craziest thing.
And the more fucked up part, I'm gonna be there to watch it.
I know.
To see the result.
We're just spokes on the wheel. The wheel's gonna keep on turning.
Could you imagine?
People are gonna keep on watching this, regardless of the bad decisions they make.
What if Yair wins?
That'd be the funniest possible outcome.
That's what I'm saying.
And you know what's crazy? Is like he's good enough to do it. Like if Volk's slowed down a lot from 2023, and I'm still gonna pick him, full disclosure, when the fight happens in September. But like, would I be shocked if Yair just pulls some spinning wheel kick out of his ass and just drops Volk and ends up, getting it stuck? I would not be surprised.
Do him like Islam did him, yeah?
Do him like that. And it'd be on fucking Noche UFC. We're celebrating the Mexican heritage. He might have some added motivation, if they somehow get it in Mexico, then
Canelo competing the same night, dude.
Yeah, if they get it in Mexico, then like I will be a lot more chill about the fight. But if it's happening in Vegas and Yair's getting the shot, it's like, what the fuck? What? That's just a normal pay-per-view, dude. Like, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. But anyways, man. We got a few other UFC things to talk about. So let's talk about some old men. Nate Diaz, who I love. I still love Nate Diaz. Now 39 years old, hasn't competed since his win over Jorge Masvidal in the boxing ring last year. He's been talking about a UFC return for a minute now. But now he did an interview and kind of like opened up more about it. And I think, honestly, a couple things happened. I think you realize that there's not much of a market anymore. If he became a free agent in 2015, there's a lot of money being thrown around. 2020 became a free agent, 2023, I think. Not nearly as much money being thrown around. Said he wants to come back to UFC. He said he wants to finish out the trilogy with Conor McGregor, which obviously I don't even really see a point in talking about that one because Conor McGregor's never fighting again. Even Dana this week, but somebody asked him, he's like, dude, I haven't talked to that guy in like 6 months. Like Dana, even Dana was like, dude, like stop fucking.
What did I say like 2 years ago? I was like, if he doesn't fight X year, he's not fighting ever again.
It was the year that they did the Ultimate Fighter, and I was like, well, maybe next year, because then they actually booked it, and then he still pulled out.
I said if he doesn't fight next year at some point, like he doesn't actually show up and compete, he's not fighting ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him taking like a boxing match,
dirty boxing,
not dirty, but just a straight up boxing match, like fighting Manny Pacquiao in an exhibition or Floyd in an exhibition.
Could you imagine if there was some scenario where Manny like wins the title and then Conor's like gets in talks with Manny's camp? We get Conor versus Manny for a fucking title.
No, I don't think it would ever happen. I think it's more likely we're gonna get Manny versus Rolly Romero for a title or some crazy shit like that, or Ryan Garcia.
Okay, whatever, continue.
Yeah, I mean, I could see him fight. If Manny loses, I could see that fight happening. That one, people forget that one. We were an inch away from that one happening in 2021, like to the point to where like Conor's team sued Manny and his team won. Like, because he ended up fighting Ugas or whatever. So, anyways, that's all to say. Nate Diaz called to fight him. However, the more realistic ones, he said he also wants to fight Max Holloway and Ilya Topuria. And I think Ilya is not really realistic unless he loses a couple fights. But I've said for a minute now.
Also, Nate would have to like chop off a leg to make 55.
Exactly. I'm saying, man, Nate Diaz versus Max Holloway after Max fights Dustin.
And if you win the BMF title, you know,
it's
right?
the easiest layup you could do. And even if Max loses the BMF title, it's like, fuck it. At that point, you might as well get back. Fight Nate Diaz in a 5-round main event in Cali or something. Run it in LA in that new stadium they plan to have Islam versus
like 160 catch weight, 165. You know,
you don't need to do that. They could do 170. Max is big enough
if he wants to.
Muffin top Max to make a return. You know, so yeah. I mean, I threw it in here because I saw I was making headlines. I don't think it'll happen. I think UFC's past the point of wanting to work with a guy like Nate Diaz, but at the same point, they brought back Jeremy Stevens,
right?
And if they're doing things like that.
If their circumstances are right, they'll do it. I don't
exactly.
I just right now don't see it as a possibility.
I don't either, and I don't hate. I mean, let me be clear. I would watch that. I'd watch him fight Conor again. I'd watch him fight Ilya. I'd watch him fight Max. But it's a matter of like,
especially because
how competitive
this summer is
be.
Pretty stacked for them.
And they don't need Nate Diaz. Last summer they probably could have used Nate Diaz.
Oh man, I mean last year, yeah.
This
year,
they're
a little better.
They're coasting. They're coasting. Like they coasted for the first half of this year, and I was like, okay, now we're kicking up. Now we're kicking up into the summer, into the fall.
Now getting Dustin Max, you know, getting Elliot Charles, you know, we're getting into Roundtree, fucking Jamal Hill. Even that, like,
yeah, even that's just a banger fight. Like they've had a lot of stuff that it's just fallen through, or fights that just haven't come together, and now it's like getting into the latter part of the year.
I forgot they're going to fucking Azerbaijan.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah,
that's a pretty good card though.
That's a good card. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of close out. Would I see him back in the UFC? Hell yeah, I'd see him back in the UFC. Do I think it's more realistic that he'll end up boxing KSI or some shit? Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be the guy, but like, let's be honest here, that seems way more realistic. Right. So, yeah, not that I want to see it.
Darren Till.
Oh man, that'd be such a bad one for him, dude. Darren Till's so much bigger than him.
Oh yeah,
like you have to have some sort of like way to even it out. I mean, I guess technically Darren used to fight at 170, but like he was killing himself like to do that. So yeah, a former 155 versus a guy that really was big at 185. I mean, that's Nate's real weight class if he cared about dieting and shit was 155. So yeah,
but isn't he fucking vegan though? Like respectfully,
I believe. I don't know if he's still fucking vegan. I know that
or vegetarian.
Vegan.
One of the
vegan at one point. I don't know for sure, but. Yeah, I mean, the point being, I don't want to see Nate Diaz fight Darren Till. I'd be down to watch him fight some other MMA guys. I'll watch him fight some influencers. Just throw him an influencer a week and just have him beat him up and just go get another one.
Go get paid, yeah.
Yeah, go get paid. Yeah, I don't think UFC return will be in the cards. I could be wrong, though. Speaking of guys who are no longer in the UFC, Kevin Lee. There's a quick update. We actually talked about this last week. Kevin Lee, now a member of the PFL. We have his first fight, and I got to be honest with you, man. It's happening in our kind of our backyard, but not. It's happening in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. PFL 6 main event, Godzi Rabadov. If Kevin Lee can win this fight, he will then move to the final. Really good time to join up with the PFL, because if he wins this fight, he will then head to the finals and have his chance at $500,000. All he needs to do is beat Godzi Rabadov and the winner of Alfie Davis and Brent Permis. Angel, Give me your thoughts on Kevin Lee. And, dude, I mean, I just can't believe they gave him this matchup, first off. I mean, guys wrap it off would be probably ranked in the UFC. But give me your thoughts on the fight.
It's a fucking hard fight, but man, I mean, if you wanted to jump straight into it, you jump straight into it.
Yeah, man. I'd be like, hey, can I fight like Alfie Davis or Brett Primus first? But yeah, man, he's stepping in on short notice for JJ Wilson. Gadzhi Rabanov. For the people that are not aware, 31 years old, 25-4-2, knocked out Mark Chikasi in 30 seconds last time out, knocked out Brett Primus in a couple rounds last time out. Prior to that, another knockout. I mean, the guy is not lost in about 5 years. Former Bellator guy as well. I mean, the guy's he's a motherfucker in his prime. So, hoping the best for Kevin Lee. I'm happy he's getting this big moment in the main event. And really the only GFL guy to actually do anything after the GFL closed down. By the way, RIP GFL, the wiki page officially being pulled down as well. So that's how you know it's
as
over.
it should be. Also, we saw Tom Aspinall's announcement on his Instagram. He released a supplement. We knew it wasn't fight news. He already said it wasn't. He already said it wasn't fighting. Don't hurt yourself, please. And if you do, make sure it's on air.
I've had a tough week.
Maybe I should review Tom Aspinall's supplement now.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna review. No, I can't say
Michael
that.
Chandler's training program, and then
Yeah,
you're gonna
no,
use Tom Aspinall's supplement.
Yeah, dude. I just can't believe it.
Maybe you're gonna drink some of TJ Dillashaw's
His EPO. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do TJ Dillashaw's EPO.
God damn it, Josh! I actually like TJ, and I want to get him on the show one day. Don't do this to me right now.
I'm not. He's admitted to it. I didn't make him do it. Why are you mad at me?
No,
I mean,
know
I just want to get into really good shape.
No, I know.
I need to do some cardio. What is your problem?
Well, that's why you should get an elevation tent.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I need my elevation tent.
You need to sleep in your elevation
so
tent.
whenever I go to Mexico City, I'm like not sick. Like my stomach's upset, and fuck that city, I guess, or something. I don't know. Yeah. Shout out Kevin Lee. Shout out Kevin Lee. No longer in the UFC, now in the PFL. We'll see how he does. That's a horrific first.
Could you imagine if he won?
I mean,
if he won it all,
he's full. Here's the thing: if Kevin Lee's fully healthy, and he's still only like 32, 33.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, for real.
God, dude, losing his coach, fuck me.
Dude, losing his coach and injuries really fucked him. But if he's fully healthy, I mean, he might win that fight. The issue is that Kevin Lee's not been fully healthy since about 2017.
Is Keith Lee going to be in attendance? And
Keith Lee might be in his corner. Who knows? He was in his corner for his last fight, I think, of the UFC or whatever.
He's like, fuck, I might as well make some food reviews while I'm out here.
Yeah, I mean, God, dude, I think Kevin Lee's probably. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be real.
When
tough.
is this again?
This is next month, I believe, like June 21st. I want to say.
God,
so. Yeah, dude. God, I remember like his
best
last
of luck
fight.
to him, man. I really hope for the guy.
I love Kevin Lee, straight up, too. I think like a lot of people hated him in his prime, but like,
yeah,
he's one of those guys that like you miss him now that he's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, God, dude, the guy was throwing people around in his prime, man. So, hope the best for Kevin Lee, man, because that's a tough fight, bro. It's a tough fight, and I remember his last fight in UFC. Jumping into the cage, guys who get in the cage, they do that little jump up right when they get through, kind of like he came down hard and he popped his ACL, I believe. So the guy like that did that. So, yeah, just tough stuff. Speaking of old men, a lot of old guy fights. We're actually closing out with like a trio of old guy fights. So we're gonna hit them 1-1-1.
What is this, Bellator in 2017?
Yeah, this is Kimbo Slice Dada 5000. This is Ken Shamrock Hoist Gracie. This is
what are the old guy fights?
Josh Koscheck. This is all that stuff. God, people don't remember that one. That one happened on like a prelims. Supposed to fight Paul Daly, didn't. Anyways,
banger.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, now 58 years old. Lost to Jake Paul in the one of the worst events I've seen. I'm just gonna be honest here. I mean, I'm not trying to be.
You know what's crazy though? So many people experienced that with us. Like,
yeah, well, dude, because here's the thing.
It was a global event.
We have to find a way to get people to stop watching stuff like that and watch fights like Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury. I don't know how we bridge the gap.
Well, they got to see Serrano versus Taylor.
That's true, and also Barrios Ramos, wasn't that?
Oh yeah, that was insane too.
That was a banger, dude. That was an incredible fight. But then you had like the main event, and it was like whenever you could see it, nothing was happening, and most people couldn't even see it. So
God, dude.
And I'm so mad at myself for not throwing like my entire life savings on Jake Paul, because like I even threw like some money on, but I was like, why not just do like every single cent I have? Like, 'cause it was always gonna happen like that. I mean, it was always gonna happen.
What were the
like
lines on that? It's so long ago now.
Jake was a maybe a minus 200, a minus 150. Like the odds were really close.
Should have fucking just bet like all the possible winning odds for
Yeah.
Jake and just fucking put everything on.
I mean, I think I like, yeah. I mean, even then, I don't think he was ever gonna knock
my
him
betting
out.
regret was not betting my house on Valentina because she was plus money against Manon.
That's another one. I remember I literally texted you during the fight because I didn't know. Like I literally like during fight week I was like, huh, she's a favorite. I'm sure that'll change by fight night. And then she was
Or
even
underdog.
big. And she was even She was an even bigger underdog on fight. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening, dude? And then
Should have bet the house on that one, dude.
destroyed her nose in the first 2 minutes. And I'm like, what? I could have so much money. I could have.
I should just thrown a whole check on it. Just
Literally, dude. But Mike Tyson, 58 years old, will maybe be having another boxing match, and it'll be with somebody around his age. Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor hasn't been seen since he had that fight with Ryan Bader about 2 years ago now, and essentially was the end of Bellator. Bellator 290, I know it was not officially that on paper, the end of Bellator, honestly. It was their last show on CBS, first and last one. Didn't really do nearly as well as they'd hoped. Point being, he lost by first round knockout in that one. He's 47 in the career, 48 years old. Do you have any interest in a 48-year-old Fedor Emelianenko taking on a 58-year-old Mike Tyson in a boxing match?
I mean, it's a cool thing, but no, not at this time.
Not even in like an exhibition in like the Red Square?
I mean, if it's at the fucking Red Square, we're talking other stuff here, but no.
Yeah, I don't remember who the promoter is that is trying to do this. It's not a Turkey Alashik thing. It's not like a Triller thing either. Which, by the way, Triller, I saw a thing this past week that like they are very like they're going to go out of business like this any day now. Which they also own Fight TV, which is a bad thing for the industry then, because
Dang, because they do a bunch of like wrestling stuff on there.
Yeah.
Ryzen gets put through there.
Exactly. Well, Ryzen's on their own thing now, but like they were on there. For
Oh, yeah,
a
you're
long
right. You're
time,
right.
Yeah.
But they still have stuff on there though, like from previous years.
Yeah.
That you can go back and watch. So that would be very, very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
If we lost by TV.
Yeah. They are apparently, this would be in December, and it is the APL. I don't know what the APL is. Is that a small fight league in like Russia or something? Yeah, I can't even. Alash Pride League. Kazakhs. It's the Kazakhs, Angel. They're the ones with the money, apparently. This thing has 437,000 followers on Instagram.
By the way, I forgot it's not Fight TV anymore. It's Triller TV now.
Triller TV, all right. Oh my God, this is the same company that Henry Cejudo had a grappling match with like 2 days ago.
Oh, yeah.
You saw this?
Yeah. I saw the pictures.
Okay, so at least it's a somewhat reputable company. They're not just talking out of their ass here. So we'll see if that happens. Mike Tyson versus Fedor. I mean, if they're going to offer him a lot of money, and I'm assuming it's going to probably be an exhibition type thing. So,
By the way, AEW has stuff on Triller. I don't know if you know this.
They do. They're also on like HBO Max and stuff like that.
By the way, you can see my previous purchases on here of stuff on Triller. You can tell I'm a true fan.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, Frank Mir versus Kubrat Pulev, dude. What a pull!
What a
pull, dude. What a time. Yeah, dude. Terrible. What were they thinking? Anyways, speaking of some old men, one of them actually, funnily enough, former opponent of Fedor Emelianenko. This one's official. Andrei Arlovsky got released from the UFC after decades of being with the company last year. One of the greatest heavyweights of all time, fought in everybody in his long, illustrious career. I believe 46 years old. Gonna be fighting for BKFC. He's officially joined the company, facing Geronimo dos Santos, so kind of a journeyman heavyweight.
Geronimo dos Santos, yeah.
Yeah. June 21st. This card actually kind of, for BKFC standards, kind of stacked. Kenzie Morrison, former son of Tommy Morrison, decent boxing prospect. Kind of disappointed he went down this route, but I know personally he has struggled with getting like big name opponents. So,
part of boxing, man.
Yeah, I got a source on that one. So yeah, has struggled with getting big name opponents. So he's gonna take a BKFC fight here. Yeah, and then we also have Jessica I taking on Maria Agapova. That should be a banger. And Jessica I, former UFC title contender. Give me your thoughts on this kind of fight card going down, and also the addition of Andrei Arlovsky to the BKFC roster.
I mean, BKFC, like I said, every now and then they put out some shit, man, and I'll check it out. Like it's the Guy Fieri trash can nachos, dude. That's literally what it is, and it's a fucking mess, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. They are they're disgusting. It's a disgusting promotion. There are times where I'm watching it where it's like, this is like the lowest like bar in combat sports. Like this is just some of the people in there, like there's like there are sub 10-second knockouts like every card. Like there's one, at least one.
There's always one guy who gets blown out
Because like he shouldn't be in there. Like that guy works at Taco Bell. Like it's just not. No, it's true. I mean, it's just not fair, you know. And then I watch Power Slap. I'm like, it's not all bad, you know. Like it's just, I guess it could be a lot worse, you know.
Oh, dude, come on, dude. You're not excited for Razorback versus I don't know.
Dude, I shit you not. I got a power because you see post Power Slap stuff on the
Are
YouTube.
they still going, dude?
They're still going, but I saw like they shared something on Twitter or YouTube recently, and it was like it was just the greatest comeback in Power Slap history. And then somebody replied, "No, it was actually like Razorback versus Wolverine." And I'm like, what?
Do you think there's a diehard Power Slap vet?
Yeah, it's like, dude, like, are you talking
Is there a
about
Power Slap Reddit?
I'm sure there.
Look it up, please.
I feel like there's not because that's more like TikTok content, you know. But like,
dude,
I'm reading these comments from these Power Slap fans, and I'm like, are you people real? Like, how are you a real person? Like, what are you doing? There's 5,000 people on Power Slap.
That worries you, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's worrisome because like, I mean, what are you doing? Like,
dude,
if you have free time and you're watching Power Slap, I mean, I think.
Dude, sometimes I watch it, but I'm like, dude, this shouldn't be as big as it is.
Yeah, dude.
Or get the attention it does.
Yeah, man. Like, you don't like watching Taco versus the Crazy Hawaiian? Like, the crazy fights, bro. I mean, Jesus.
God.
Anyways, yeah, I'm happy Andre Arlovski didn't go into that. How about that? I'm very happy he didn't go into that.
Right.
The only, I think, still Paige Van Zandt, the only UFC vet.
No, there's a heavyweight too, former heavyweight champion.
Oh, Tim Sylvia, but he's not in Power Slap. He's in like some.
But he still did Power Slap.
I don't even think
he still did some slap.
The
promotion.
normal Power Slap guys. I don't even think they would clear him. Like, I remember looking into that at the time. Like, we should have motherfuckers should not be taking blows to the head. But whatever.
Shout out to the former champ.
Shout out to Sylvia. Good guy. Mensch, one might say. Anyways, so we have another fight card, and this one, man, stay in that lane of like old men fights. Like, and now granted, these aren't nearly as bad, but still a couple of old men fights. Dirty boxing. Mike Perry, his company, which had it's technically Dirty Boxing too, but they've had 3 events. Just makes total sense. DBX2, June 14th, Miami, Florida. The fight card, honestly, for
low key stacked
for a regional show like this, you can't get much better. In the main event, there's Virginia Rosenstrike team. I believe his name is Josh Schwan or something. Guy out of Kansas, heavyweight fight. Alex Caceres going to be fighting on this one. Didn't know he was gone from the UFC, but he's going to be fighting here. Alex Nicholson, who was recently made headlines for punching a fan at a regional show after he lost.
I saw that.
Going to be fighting on here. Jessica Rose Clark, she's going to be fighting on here. Phil Hawes, Sasha Politnikov, a banger, I got to be honest with you. The Ageless Wonder, Francisco Trinaldo fighting on the undercard. Angel, dude, give me your thoughts.
Dude, they got Bubba Jenkins on this shit. That's such a weird one because Bubba is not like... He's a wrestler, by trade.
So that's odd. But look, I mean, in as far as like a fight card like this, where it's going to be, you know, older names, regional type promotion, I think this is excellent. I think this is great, dude. Genuinely.
I think their approach is decent too. Because they still got Rosina there who's not necessarily old or washed.
Yeah, no. If they can get some guys who are not old or washed and like kind of guys like in that Alex Caceres tier where they're kind of in the middle, like, you can have some really good fights here, man. Genuinely. So I like that a lot.
I'm a fan.
No.
I think it's better than a bare knuckle one. I think it's a better card than bare knuckle. Respectfully.
Yeah. I mean, but I also think like it seems like.
And bare knuckle's had some fun moments, man. They put on some events that I've generally enjoyed. I mean, dude, Jason Knight versus
Artem Lobov.
Versus Lobov. Both of them were fucking awesome, dude.
We as a sport don't talk about the fact enough that Artem Lobov beat Paulie Malignaggi in a boxing match. We just never discuss it. I know bare knuckle boxing match. It's on BoxRec, so
only to get obliterated by fucking that Ukrainian guy.
That's true. He got his revenge. The boxing boys got the revenge. I can't even remember that guy's name, but he's like legit.
He became
like,
champion.
Like, yeah, like he's like really fucking good. But yeah, man, shout out Artem Lobov, who like, and dude, you know what's crazy about that? That whole thing happened so Paulie Malignaggi could try and get a boxing match with Conor McGregor. He lost. Didn't happen. Had his reputation like, I don't want to say ruined, but like, I mean,
just more to clown on him for.
Exactly. And then Artem's not even friends with Conor anymore.
Actually, he sued Conor.
Yes. Yeah, Denise Baranchek. I
was gonna say, I thought it was Denise
Yeah,
Baranchek.
he's the cat who beat Navarrete.
I could just put it out there, man. I knew it. Damn.
He lost to Keyshawn Davis. He lost the WBO lightweight title. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, dude. Kid is legit. I say kid is 37, but
The guy was legit though.
yeah, fucking legit.
That rise was wild. And then the random fucking bare knuckle fight in Ukraine. By the way,
in the middle of the pandemic.
but by the way, they
badass.
did that shit like not like in a circle ring, dude. They had like fucking hay
They had
bales.
sandbags. Yeah,
I think it was hay, dude. I don't even think it was fucking sandbags.
I might misremember.
Dude, and it's like the most insane crowd of all. The most like, well, I mean, that's East Europe, right?
Yep, that was Ukraine, bro.
You call, yeah. I mean, I don't want to be incorrect here, but that was like the most East European crowd for that fucking
Yeah,
fight
dude.
that you could have, dude. It was fucking awesome, dude. It was
Dude.
like those warehouse fights you see in fucking Russia, dude.
Yeah,
and it's
dude.
fucking,
Let me
it's
pull it
cold
back
as
up.
shit, dude.
They come out through like the fucking, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I mean,
Remember when that guy on Reddit fought in that promotion, like knocked the guy the fuck out? Yeah, dude.
Look at that.
Oh, it was sandbags. Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was hay bales, dude. I've seen one where they fought and they had fucking hay bales around.
That's insane, bro. I gotta watch that. Yeah,
I mean, he
Artem-
knocks him the fuck out.
He does. Artem was, and I mean, no offense, was basically just a heavy bag in that fight. But, yeah, I mean, shit, just insane though, insane stuff, man. Yeah, anything else we're going to talk about before we go ahead and close out of here, man?
No, man, I'm excited to come back next week. Things will be, playing out a bit. Promotions are coming back. Ryzen's having an event this week in Korea, which I hope is a beautiful thing. Both those countries are coming together to do something special there. Obviously, the UFC is having this event. Some stuff on the line, rankings on the line at lightweight. Potentially Maycee Barber wins here. Maybe a title shot looking at the future. We got people wanting to prove themselves on the undercard. There's some shit here, man. And we're coming back to, am I incorrect? A pay-per-view?
I believe, yeah, it is Sean O'Malley.
Oh my god.
Rob Dwalashvili.
That's snuck
Kayla
up on me.
Harrison.
It snuck up on me.
That's hey, and that's happening on my birthday. So hey, they're gonna do it for the people out there. They're gonna do it for they knew the big 24 was coming up.
Let's
so
say
like
I gotta say we haven't really talked about it. It is a week pay-per-view, but there's still some stuff in there. We got Wayne Kong in there, Johnny Walker.
That's the thing, right? Like it is
it's a very weak pay-per-view.
it's a very, very weak pay-per-view, which I think is honestly like one of the biggest issues.
But we still got Patchy Mix coming up, making his debut with Joe Pfeiffer. Kevin Holland on there. Our boy Vincente.
The main card I love. It's everything else.
Van, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because like Gastelum Pfeiffer should be chaos. Batista Mix is banger, and Luke Holland should be a banger. It's after that, like you kind of fall off. But even then,
there's still
I
some bright spots.
I love Wayne Kong, but
where's Dr. Xing Ming?
Where I've been on the hunt. I've been looking. Where is Dr. Xing Ming? That's my question. That I can't find anybody to tell me. I mean, she knocks women out, and then she helps them out on the way to the hospital, man. I mean,
what a legend.
She doesn't need anesthesia. No, it's just anyways. But yeah, man. So we got some fun stuff to come back to. Yeah, excited for the summer. Excited for the fights come up, man. Hope you guys enjoy the show. I think you guys are sticking with us. I'm at Josh Soundoff on Twitter. He's at Angel Ortega _01 at Courtside Sound for all things related to the show. Follow those links down below. Go hit up our sponsor of the show. Shout out BenMGM. And like I said at the start of the show, we're going to close it out. Game 5 tonight, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Follow that link down below. Or unless you need 1-800-GAMBLER, in which case don't follow the link down below. Anyways, peace, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy the fights.